Well, the Naperville Central Red Hawks have been the team to beat all season long. 13-0 going into the final, the 6A championship. And welcome once again to Hancock Stadium. This has been a marvelous weekend. We hope to give you a big finish. With Jack McInerney, I'm Mike Lederman. Everybody's getting set for the kickoff right here for Naperville Central, Wheaton, Warrenville South. What do you look for in a nutshell?
Well, it's going to be as exciting as the first one. That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, the crowd is still fired up from that game that just preceded us. It was so exciting. And this game has all of the aspirations of being the same way. Great skill kids, good defense, and just outstanding skill players at all positions.
Joe Bungie, the coach of Naperville Central, he's got a troika. He's got a quarterback. He's got a wide receiver. He's got a running back. All of them blue chippers, all of them all-state. Tim Lavery's the quarterback.
He's an outstanding player, sometimes player of the year. He's got all the stats, thrown for 2,000 yards, 20-some touchdowns, scrambles well, but what he does is he plays well under pressure. Naperville Central's been behind in all their playoff games, and he's brought them back each and every time.
Jim Tumulty's had a torn ACL. That's the anterior cruciate ligament. We all know that, fans. He's had it all season long, hurt it the first day of practice. He's still playing better on one leg than most players are on two.
He's a special player. Last year he led the state in scoring and total offense. He doesn't kick this year because of the bad leg, but he does everything else. Missed 2 ball games and still has over 1,200 yards and 23 touchdowns. He's a special kind of back, Mike.
He is number 4. And watch number 2 as well. Jason Shearer, when they throw it, he catches it.
He's an outstanding player. He's also a punt return and kickoff return specialist, but he's a Division I prospect as a wide receiver. He's the go-to guy for Tim Lavery.
All right, let's not forget Wheaton Warrenville. Not at all. There's a little magic here because John Thorne has got a team largely of juniors, especially on offense. He's got a quarterback who's a junior. His name is Tim Brilka. Little guy, but boy, he plays big.
Well, it's one of those situations where he does everything. He audibles at the line of scrimmage, he runs the option, he scrambles well, and he throws the ball well. He could very well be the key to this ball game.
Another key, Bill Gerlesitz, their leading ball carrier. He hurt his knee. He is out. His substitute, well, don't call him a substitute anymore. Kelly Crosby's carried him through the playoffs.
Kelly Crosby started the year as a JV player for Wheaton South. I've seen him in the last 3 ball games. He is going to be a special back today and certainly next year. He's one of the best running backs I've seen thus far this year.
All right, let's do it. Let's go to the introductions now. Here's the public address announcer, Steve Adams.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the starting lineups for this afternoon's Class 6A State Championship game, featuring the Red Hawks of Naperville Central and the Tigers of Wheaton Warrenville South. First, introducing the starting defensive lineup for Naperville Central. Here is the head coach of the Red Hawks, Joe Bungie. And now the starting defensive lineup at nose guard, number 25, Mike Shevla. At defensive tackle, number 64, Lee Smentek. At defensive end, number 54, Dave Speecher. At outside linebacker, number 51, Joe DiCristina. At outside linebacker, 34, Brad Grokey. At cornerback, number 37, Jim Howlick. At inside linebacker, number 53, Nick Paleo. At inside linebacker, number 21, Jeff Bucklar. At defensive back, number 32, DJ Jensen. At defensive back, number 11, Jim Clary. And at safety, number 7, Rocky O'Shea. Those are the Red Hawks of Naperville Central High School. And now let's meet the starting offensive lineup for Wheaton Warrenville Central's Tigers. Make that Wheaton Warrenville South. At left hand, number 89, Aaron Stefanis. At left tackle, number 56, Larry Moriaki. At left guard, number 52, Steve Sturdad. At center, number 72, David Woods. At right guard, number 73, Dan Rogers. At right tackle, number 77, Jason Van Dusen. At right end, number 4, Joe St. Meyer. At quarterback, number 3, Tim Brokaw. At halfback, number 45, Jordan Workman. At flanker back, number 85, Mike Brumfield. And at fullback, number 37, Kelly Crosby. And introducing the head coach of Wheaton Warrenville South, John Thorne.
Those are the starting lineups. Let's check in with our sideline reporter from the Chicago Sun-Times. How you doing, David Southwell?
I'm doing great down here, Mike. It's a great day. They're going to throw the ball. Anything goes. There's very little wind. It's a beautiful day for football down here. We got two great offensive teams. Naperville Central, one of the best offensive teams of all time. Let's look at their road. Hinsdale, Downers Grove South, a great defensive team. Naperville North, their arch rival. And Romeoville, they were trailing that game 14-0, scored 41 straight points. Wheaton Warrenville South beat St. Charles, Palatine, Glenbrook South, who was undefeated at the time, and manhandled York last week, but they lost one of their running backs, Bill Lessons. He's on the sidelines today and won't go. Naperville Central and Wheaton Warrenville South are from the DuPage Valley Conference. It's the first time in a championship game that there's ever been two teams from the same conference competing, so the DuPage Valley will be the kings of 6A, no question about it.
I hope you had a chance to catch your breath after that last one. We'll be going back down to you throughout the afternoon. We hope you're enjoying this one. 3:30 here in Chicago, down in Bloomington, and there is John Thorne, 16th year at Wheaton Warrenville South or Wheaton Central, depending on what the school's been named over that period. He's got a state championship that came 3 years ago. He's finished second a couple of times since. This is his first time back since he won the state. Very well respected among his peers, certainly among his players. And he is no doubt the underdog here today.
Well, he really is, but I'll tell you what, they've been here before. They know how to win, and they know how to play under this kind of pressure.
Mark Pollock kicking it off for Naperville Central in the visiting white. Taken by Wheaton Warrenville South. And a quick hit. And Naperville Central establishes field position with Brad Grolke, number 34, the linebacker, coming in on the specialty teams on the kickoff.
You can see he gets right in behind him, Mike, and makes the big hit. Never got touched. He was a stinger who goes right to the football, has no responsibility for breakdown, and he certainly did the job there.
Dan Newsom, who took the kickoff as a track star, but he never got out of the blocks on that return. First play from scrimmage behind Tim Brokaw, the quarterback.
He does a lot of audibling and calling the plays at the line of scrimmage, so we'll see this all afternoon.
Receivers to the right, and the first option, and Brokaw gives it off for a short gain to Kelly Crosby, and there are the backs and receivers. Brokaw, Crosby, both juniors. Brumfield, the senior. Jordan Workman, he is in there at fullback, a senior. Aaron Stefanis, the tight end. Joe St. Meyer, the leading receiver. His brother played on the championship team. Moriaki and the juniors. They called him Larry and the juniors. The offensive line, all juniors except for 295-pound Larry Moriaki, who is a Division I prospect. Gain of 1. We're at 2nd and 9. First series of the ball game. And the give once again. This time it goes to Workman, and Workman gets nothing. Met by Jeff Butler, the linebacker, and Lee Smentek, the defensive right tackle for Central. Hawkins, Smentek, David Spiker, Mike Svela. Svela actually plays the nose. The linebackers and defensive backs, Grolke, Butler, Puleo, DJ Johnson, a sophomore, Jimmy Hollick, Jim Cleary, and an outstanding safety, Rocky O'Shea. Naperville Central, known for its offense, has been doing the job defensively here the first 2 downs. They line up in the I. Crosby is the tailback. Workman the fullback. Brilka. Pitching it to Crosby. Crosby with a little bit of room, and Kelly Crosby with a nice juke gets first down yardage close to the 30-yard line.
Lead option.
14-yard pickup, and Rocky O'Shea knocking him out of bounds.
Running it towards the slot with a lead option. You can see right here he's coming down the line, waits till the last second, does a nice job of dipping away, tossing the ball back. Nice kick-out block by Workman, and Kelly Crosby picks up the first down.
Kelly Crosby, 160 yards in the semifinal on the ground against York. He is filling in, as we told you, for Bill Gerlesitz, who's out with a bad knee. 1st and 10, Wheaton Warrenville. Again, Brilka. Brilka finds a hole over the left side. And Tim Brilka, the quarterback, got an 8-yard gain. Jimmy Cleary coming up from his defensive back position to put a stop on him.
As I mentioned in the open, he's coming to his own during the playoffs, running the option. He really does a nice job. You can see right here the dive fake. He's reading that tackle. He bounces right out inside, comes right up underneath the block here by Moiaki. Does a nice job of running the option. He is the key today for Wheaton Warrenville South. He's the field general because he literally is calling the plays at the line of scrimmage by what Naperville Central gives them defensively.
The measurement leaves them about a yard short. Brilka will come off and check in with John Thorne. For Thorne, he had to get by the number 3 seed, the number 2 seed, a number 1 seed, and a number 4 seed on the march to the 6A championship. His team was seeded 6th in this bracket. Shows you how far they've come. 2nd down, less than a yard. Brilka checking off to Crosby. And Crosby fighting, and breaks it. Rocky O'Shea makes the saving tackle, but Kelly Crosby was stopped at the line of scrimmage, ends up with a 12-yard pickup.
Well, we mentioned he was a JV player at the start of the year, came on strong after an injury early. Just watch this effort here. Tremendous job of running the football. Great effort. I've seen him in the last 3 playoff games, and I have been so impressed with the way he runs. Doesn't have great speed, has good speed, but he runs hard.
Played the last 7 games on the varsity and has scored 11 touchdowns. This is the first series of the ball game. Brumfield in motion, and the give again, this time short yardage. And the Naperville defensive 44, the linebacker Josh Hawkins making that stop.
They're trying to run the outside veer there where they isolate Hawkins, and he's got to make a decision. Is he going to come down in the dive back or take the quarterback? There he made the right decision, and he took Kelly Crosby the dive back.
Hawkins leading tackler on this team. Gain of 2. 2nd and 8.
This is how you can beat Naperville, keep the ball away from their offense.
Brilka
Got him open.
He's got Stetler across the 40-yard line. And Chris Stetler brought down by the 2 safeties, Cleary and O'Shea. And right there, the quarterback Brilka very close to going over the line of scrimmage.
Well, he's a scrambler. He's a little water bug. We mentioned in the pregame that he is a key to this offense and could be the key to the outcome of this ball game. You can see he can make things happen.
Pickup of 12, ball out to the 39-yard line of Naperville Central. The Tigers are on the march.
And that clock is ticking, and that keeps the Naperville Central's offense off the field.
Again, they run the option, and Brilka this time gets nowhere with Grolke, number 34, making the stop. Loss of 1. Brad Grolke, 6'1", 190-pound senior. Big interception against Downers Grove South, and he ran it back for a touchdown.
And that started the momentum. Downer South was winning at that point in the 4th quarter, and he turned it around with that interception.
9th play of the drive coming up. 2nd down. They say he got back to the line of scrimmage, so it's 2nd and 10. Crosby again trying to sweep. And again, he is met by a host of white shirts led by Hawkins. And Hawkins puts the brakes on Crosby. It'll bring up a 3rd and long.
Well, you can take a look at Hawkins. He's right at the corner of your right there, number 44, just strings it out, plays off the blocker, comes in, makes the tackle. He's the leading tackler for the Red Hawks.
Field and St. Myers split to the right on 3rd and 11.
Too deep coverage, man under, too deep zone for Naperville Central.
Rilke looking for St. Meyer, but it's over his head. DJ Johnson on the coverage, and this will bring up a 4th down for Wheaton Warrenville South as the drive stalls after 12 plays.
They're going to punt him down in the hole. And actually, there is no hole for Naperville Central's offense. In the big game against Downers Grove South, they thought they had him on the 1-yard line. Downers Grove South got stopped. Naperville Central marched down the field from the 99 yards and scored.
There's Rocky O'Shea, number 7. He's twin safety along with Cleary. The punter, Corey Johnson, a senior, 35-yard average. He's punting from the Naperville Central 39. Hangs it high. Fair catch called for at the 14-yard line by Cleary. So Naperville Central's offense will get on the field. 6:40 left to go. 25-yard punt. We'll take a break and be right back. Joe Bungie, 10th year as coach of the Naperville Central Red Hawks, formerly a politically incorrect nickname, which we won't go into. Used to be a defensive back in his college days at Southern Illinois. This is first 6A final.
Joe Bungie coached at Tilden before he came over to Naperville Central. Had some great teams at Tilden in Chicago.
Right, first public league team to beat a suburban team when he knocked off Deerfield back in the 80s. Here is Tim Lavery bringing out the high-powered Naperville Central Red Hawks. 1st and 10 from their own 15. In motion is the fullback. The give is to Tumulty. And Tumulty circles the right side. Brad Camden brings him down after a short gain. We told you about Lavery and Tumulty. Kevin Cade, Corey Stevens as the fullback, does mostly the blocking work. Shearer, big wide receiver. Grotbeck, the only junior in the starting lineup at tight end. Kutt, Klipowitz, Nolda, Bakem, and Monson. A very good, very mobile offensive line. All of whom are seniors. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Single back. Lavery throwing his first pass and trying to. And he finds his receiver. He's got Tumulty. After the pursuit, Kevin Beck makes the stop, but Mike Divelbis had Lavery back in the backfield, and Tim got away from him.
This is where he excels. He's such a great athlete with such a strong arm. Now what happens is the coverage broke down, so Tumulty finds an open seam between the linebackers, and you can see he's running away and throws the ball back across his body. Tim Lavery thrown for 28 touchdowns this year and 2,100 yards. He's quite an athlete. He's also an outstanding baseball player.
As is Tumulty.
As is Shearer.
Okay, so you have a triple threat bunch. 1st and 10 from the 27. The fake pitch and maybe a busted play, but Lavery trying to circle, and taking him down is Kevin Beck. Yeah. May have been a busted play right there, even for Naperville Central. Let's set the defense for Wheaton Warrenville South. Devin Finn, big guy, used to be a tight end. He's 6'6". Reardon, Beard, Tim Rimbos, Mike Divelbis in the middle, Camden and Sampson, the 2 linebackers. Corey Johnson, Tom Schweikert, Kevin Beck, and Terrence Moore.
That last play was definitely exchanged. He lost the handle here as he was getting ready right there. It was supposed to be a toss. You can see the guard pulling around here. He wanted to get out there, but the timing was thrown off, so he couldn't get it back to him.
2nd and 6. Again, the retreat.
Screen.
Looking at the screen. He's got his man. It's the fullback, Corey Stevens. Corey Stevens across the 30-yard line. Kevin Beck drags him down.
Well, he got out in front of the screen. All of his linemen were behind him. He got the ball up the field, so he had nobody blocking for him at all. Kind of got rushed here. Let's see if we can see at the bottom of the screen. He slides out of the backfield. Number 33, Corey Stevens. See, the linemen are behind him right there. He's out in front of the screen, and just a good job of open field tackling right there. In this case, you'd rather have Tumulty in the open field than Corey Stevens, but then again, all the linebackers are watching Tumulty.
3rd down 5 here from the 32-yard line of Naperville Central. Shearer splits it out to the right. That's Tumulty in motion. Good protection for Lavery. Shoots it over the middle. He's got his man. Complete close to midfield. The tight end Grotbeck brought down by Tom Schweikert, the cornerback. A 17-yard gain right over the middle, picture perfect.
Well, you can see the tight end will just drag right across. They clear out with the wide receivers, and he comes underneath the linebackers. Take a look at the official number 41. You can see he gets right in under the linebackers, behind the line of scrimmage. Todd Grotbeck, 6'4", 195-pound junior, 17 catches this year, an 18-point average per catch.
And as we said, the only junior in the starting offensive lineup. Here is Tumulty trying to wriggle through, gets across midfield, short gain. Met by Gene Beard, 5'11" junior.
Those numbers are -2 games when he got hurt, and he decided he wanted to come back. Later we'll give you a shot of that knee. His left knee has a very, very large brace on it, and that's the brace that keeps that leg somewhat immobile. You can see it right there on the left. And he's got a somewhat of a limp, but that limp goes away real fast once he tucks that pigskin under his arm.
Gain 2, it's 2nd and 8. The ball just across midfield at the 49-yard line of Wheaton Warrenville. Lavery again's got 3 receivers out, can't find him, and he's got a gain here. First down yardage and more to the 30-yard line. Knocked down, brought down by Brad Camden and Jason Skinner, and Lavery, so his receivers covered, made the most of it with a 19-yard pickup.
Well, you see how the linemen scoot down inside for that cup protection, and they block out on the nose man. He sees a hole as he steps up underneath. Good coverage down the field, and that's what forced the scramble. But the thing is, with an athlete like this, you don't really want him to scramble.
Lavery's big. You can see the field, 6'3", 190. Devin Finn, who was 6'6", had a shot at him in the backfield, but Lavery got around him. So 1st and 10. This is the first drive for Naperville Central on the 30-yard line of Wheaton Warrenville. Tumulty nowhere to go, but finds something. Meanwhile, flags go down, and Tumulty does too, after a north-south run of maybe -1 yard, but an east-west run of 30 or 40. Kevin Beck and Jason Skinner again combining on the stop.
Good penetration by the defensive line, and what they do is they play stagnant. And the reason they do that.
Now the call will go against, Jack goes against Naperville Central, a holding call, first penalty.
What the linemen do is, the offensive linemen, they take the defensive linemen anywhere they want to go, and Tumulty goes in behind it. You can take a look at that brace right there. And actually, over the last 2 weekends, the concern was it was going to rust with all the water and rain that we had, but it's made of plastic, and he doesn't have to worry about that today. But that's a very heavy, cumbersome brace. But many say Tumulty on one leg is better than a lot of backs with 2 legs, the way he runs.
Here's the call from the referee, Larry Williams of Bartonville. It's his crew out there today for the 6A title game.
Here's a picture of Joe Bungie. You know, with this kind of an offense, with the quarterback that you have, even when he scrambles, his arm is so strong. You can throw a long pass back across his body or across the field. When he has the ball, anything can happen.
Penalties decline, so 2nd and 12 as they took the down. And here is a completion out to Shearer, and Shearer with first down yardage and more. Corey Johnson and Brad Camden.
Faster than a speeding bullet. Did you see how fast that ball got there? He just throws what we call a rope. He drills that. Now he's got a kind of a watch his delivery. It's kind of a 3/4 to sidearm, but watch how fast that ball gets there. I mean, that ball is zipped and on the money.
15-yard pickup. There's Schweikert, number 6, driving him out of bounds with teammates' help. Kevin Gerwig splits it left this time. They just go power football for a couple of yards behind Tumulty, and Kevin Beck, we've called his name a lot, 91 tackles, 81 tackles coming into this afternoon. Coming up from the safety spot. No gain, it will be 2nd and 10. Wheaton Warrenville took the opening kickoff, had a long drive that stalled at the 30 of Naperville Central, and the Redhawks have had the ball since. They're 2nd and 10 on the Tigers' 18. Shearer to the left. Cade to the right. Lavery throws it, got his man open. And wide open. Again, the tight end Grotbeck, as the 2 deep receivers were covered in the end zone.
You can see what a great athlete he is. The 2 receivers clear out. They take him deep. Little play action fake, counter fake one way. He comes back the other way. Watch the way he gets rid of this ball. Falling backwards, puts it right on the money. Nice catch by Todd Grotbeck right there, 6'4", 195-pound junior. 17 catches in the season.
Just short of the first down. You can see that. We'll bring up a 3rd and half a foot inside the 10. 1 minute, 56 seconds left to go in a very rapid first quarter here at Hancock Stadium. I'm Mike Lederman along with Jack McInerney. Tim Sutton, our broadcast crew in the truck from Sports Channel. This is the 12th play of the drive. David Berkson, our statistician, and Mark Sikora, our spotter. So we're all here. Glad you could be with us. Hope you've had enough football. Well, we'll give you a good one to go out with. Clock is running on 3rd and 1. 2 backs in the eye. And sneaking it is Lavery. If he gets it, it won't be by much, but he didn't need very much.
Well, Lavery's 6'3", 190 pounds, so it's just like giving the ball to the fullback. And there, Joe Bungie, he's pretty confident that they picked it up.
With him, Kevin Cade, whom he's sending in as the play messenger. He and Kevin Gerwig, number 30, normally relay the plays from Bungie. Lavery can audible, he can check off. So it is a first down. Lavery so far 5 for 5 through the air, 54 yards. Pitch to Tumulty. Tumulty stacked up in the backfield. Excellent job back there. Tim Rimbo's number 12, along with Schweigert, number 6. And take a look here. Big defensive play for the Tigers.
He comes right up there and stuffs the fullback. That's the key right there. He stuffed the fullback. Fullback is supposed to kick him out where Tumulty can come underneath him. But he came right up and was the aggressor there and stuffed the fullback right in the play, nowhere to go.
You know those coaches at Wheatonville were watching film. That's the bread and butter play for Naperville Central. That pitch to Tumulty around the left side. It was stuffed. For the time being, Naperville Central still with goal to go.
He's got him open.
Wide open. Touchdown, the fullback.
It's off a bootleg fake to Tumulty, fullback in the flat.
Corey Stevens making the catch, his 3rd receiving touchdown of the season. With 41 seconds to go, first quarter, a lengthy, well-executed drive, and the Red Hawks are on the board. There's Corey Stevens.
And the key to that, Mike, is that they really all go with the fake to Tumulty right here. You can see just his movement there. You saw how they moved over there. And the fullback was in the flat all by himself right there. Jason Shear trying to throw a block, but Corey Stevens didn't need it. He's in the end zone.
For Tim Lavery, his 29th touchdown pass of the season. Jeff Groeneboom to try the extra point. It is good. So the Red Hawks have drawn first blood. They lead it 7-0. We'll be back with the kickoff right now. We will not go away. We will stay. 7-0 Naperville over the Wheaton Warrenville South.
Well, they do a lot of counter action and play action because they have such threats in the backfield that any kind of a fake, not even a great one, and this is not a great fake, just a counter pass fake. The fullback slides out into the flat right here. You can see the tight end dragging behind him. Either one of them were open. And he hits Corey Stevens, 5'10", 185-pound senior. Now, Corey Stevens doesn't see the football that often, and he only had 2 touchdowns all year. But what a way to start out, scoring your first touchdown in the state championship game.
Just under 6 minutes on the drive, 14 plays, 85 yards. You see it there, 5:59, and Stevens with the touchdown reception. Groeneboom added the PAT, and there you see Schweigert, one of the deep men, and we are at 7-0 right here, Naperville Central.
Well, one of the problems with Tim Lavery is that he is such a great athlete that even when you flush him out of the pocket and think you've done a great job as far as the pass rush, he can make something happen. Even he's a left-hander, but he throws the ball going to his right just as well.
Schweigert, Newsom, the deep man, Pollock to kick. This will be Newsom with a shorter kick at the 14. And Newsom, only 5'4". We told you he's a track man. Had a chance to put it into second gear. Nice return to the 35-yard line. 21 yards on the return. And Wheaton Warrenville in good position here. Rotbeck, the tight end, playing on the kickoff coverage making the stop. Right there, you can see where Newsom can electrify a crowd. And maybe you see some of that. There's a junior varsity right there with the right numbers, too. Here's Brilka. He's been sitting a while with the offense. Tim Brilka on the option going nowhere as Josh Hawkins pulls him down behind the line of scrimmage.
Tried to run the outside veer, and I think he and Crosby got mixed up. Crosby wasn't sure if he was going to get the ball. Let's watch the top of the screen. Tight end, there's a double team. He's trying to read that outside linebacker, and he just fumbles. That doesn't fumble the ball, but it's just tripped up here. But they're running the outside veer. They want to try and pop it outside.
Well, that's the end of the first quarter. There's John Thorne. His team trails now 7-0. Naperville Central, the #1 team in the state, trying to cement its hold on the state title. Blue skies over Bloomington Normal. We start the second quarter. Naperville Central, Wheaton Warrenville South with the Red Hawks 7-0 lead in the 6A championship. Wheaton Warrenville its second possession here. And they go to the reverse. Brumfield luckily got the good bounce for him. And Mike Brumfield, the wide receiver, comes up and gains maybe 3 yards on a play like that that had all the elements of disaster if the ball had just bounced a little differently. Cleary and Spiker, David Spiker, 205-pound senior defensive down lineman.
Well, that's what can happen when you get that bounce off the AstroTurf. There's a good shot right there of Ron Muhich, the defensive coordinator for Wheaton South. Does a great job with this defense year in and year out.
Third down play, 3rd and 6. Brilka running the option, turning it up. Touchdown! Tim Brilka. He's got Holland to beat. Brilka to the 15. Touchdown, Tigers. 61 yards, quarterback Tim Brilka.
He's an athlete. He makes things happen. He's the answer for Wheaton South. Tim Lavery's the answer for Central, and Tim Brilka does the job for Wheaton Warrenville South. Doesn't have all the stats. He's not 6'3". He's only 5'8", but he can make it happen. Great job here. Just a lead option or load option coming back. Finds the seam. You can see the cutback right here and the downfield blocking, and now it's just a foot race. And Brilka can run. There's no doubt about that. And there's the 6 points.
Larry Moiaki, the big left tackle, with a good block to spring him at the line. Jeff Milam, the extra point attempt. Ooh, close, but good. Yes, says Larry Williams. So striking very quickly at the start of the second quarter, Wheaton Warrenville. What an electrifying play by little Tim Brilka.
Well, he does a great job, as we'll look at it here on the replay. Just a lead option. You can see Moiaka, the left tackle, number 56, 6'4", 295 pounds. But there's Tim cutting back against the grain. Oftentimes, good pursuit can kill you. And in this case, for Naperville Central, they flowed down the line of scrimmage towards the option, and he cut back against the grain in a big run and a big touchdown.
Talk about what he means to this team. He had them up 28-0 against Glenbrook South, the #1 seed in their bracket 2 rounds ago. Gets a mild concussion, so he sits down the second half, and it turned out to be a very close game.
21 points in the second half.
28-21 as Glenbrook South comes up with 3 touchdowns in the second half.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, the DuPage Valley is a tough conference, and of course these people are always playing Naperville North in there and Wheaton North, and they have some great teams, and they've all been down in the state championships at one time or another.
3 plays, 65 yards, of course, 61 of it coming on the last touchdown run by Tim Brilka.
We got to the point in the playoffs. This is the first game, Mike, that Naperville Central has taken the lead initially. They've been behind in every playoff game up until today when they scored initially. So this is kind of a change of pace for them.
Jeff Milam will kick off. Jason Shearer, Mark Pollock, number 2, number 49, will run it back.
Shearer's a threat.
Shearer takes it on his 12. 25. He's a Shearer. He's got one man to beat. And Shearer dragged down by the kicker Milam before he's gang tackled across midfield at the 44. Jason Shearer nearly broke it right back. 44-yard return.
I better go out and buy a lottery ticket. I just said that, and all of a sudden he shows what he's done all year. He's a great pass receiver, but most people don't realize what a great kick returner he is. He had 46 catches of passes, but this is what he does exceptionally well in the open field.
So that good block by Mike Svela, normally the nose guard on the kickoff team, that stood up Wheaton Warrenville, and now here comes the swarm. But 44-yard kick, 1st and 10 on the 44-yard line of Wheaton Warrenville. Here is Tumulty, and Tumulty breaking through before he's dragged down again by Kevin Beck in the secondary. Jason Nolda, the junior center, we put Jason a year ahead by mistake. He is a junior, through the good block there, and Tom Schweikert, number 6, and Sampson, number 9.
Counter trap here. They pull the guard and the tackle, and you can see right here what we're talking about as far as one leg. What a tough runner he is behind an outstanding offensive line who hasn't really got the publicity that they deserve, because the three-headed monster so far has been getting it all, but they've done a great job.
First down. Here's Lavery rolling to his left, throwing it and completing it to Shearer at the 20. Schweikert on the stop. They call Lavery the surgeon, and you see why. He is just picking apart defenses.
And he throws a rope out there. I mean, this is not lob. You can see him throwing on the run. He's got his fullback out in front of him, but he just drills the ball right here. Tight spiral. Shear just runs an out cut, knowing where the first down marker is, and Lavery delivers. And he's a pitcher in baseball.
Joe Bungie looking on. Remember, this is his first 6A title game. 1st and 10 on the 20. Tumulty right across the middle. Tumulty for 6 to the 14. Devin Finn, Eric Reardon, the left side of the line, combining on the stop of Jim Tumulty. 2,500 total yards a year ago. This year his numbers were down. You know why by now, because of the leg, and yet when they need the yardage, he is there.
Well, they run an awful lot of what we call the zone scheme up front, where the linemen just take the defensive lineman wherever they want to go, and that's why he's so deep. He lines up at 7 yards from the line of scrimmage, Tumulty, and he just runs in behind him and cuts back and just tries to find that hole behind that offensive line.
From the 14 on 2nd down, Tumulty left, and Tumulty wrapped up beautifully by Devin Finn. Finn, the defensive left end, 6'6", 250, switched over from offense, and he certainly paid that back for John Thorne right there.
Again, well scouted. You can see the toss, and what they do is they just come flat down the line of scrimmage. Nobody penetrates past the line of scrimmage. That's the key to this play. They go down the line of scrimmage and meet them right at the junction. Nice play by Devin Finn.
Loss of 1. It's a 3rd and 5. One back is Stevens. Lavery now.
Oh, he's got room.
He's got Moriarty chasing him. It's not a match right here, and knocking him out of bounds, and we get a flag as the hit is made. Looked like by number 5, Jason Skinner, with a big hit as Lavery had room. We'll see what the flag's all about.
Late flag, I thought, Mike, because there really wasn't any lineman around to be holding.
Didn't look like, maybe it was a late hit, but that didn't look like he was out of bounds. It looked as though it was a clean hit. We'll see. Here's Larry Williams.
Well, he's talking to Naperville, so it's against them.
He is the head of the crew. Well, there was a hold, a late hold.
Take a look at it here from the end zone. He's flushed back. He comes, rolls this way. Great coverage. Now he scrambles back, and you'll see the flag coming. There could be. No, I don't think so. It had to be back behind us here where the hold is. Well, there's a good hit right there.
Well, the official threw the flag just as the play was ending. Whatever the call, it is holding, and it'll go now 3rd down and 24. The ball comes all the way back to the 34-yard line.
You know, I don't think a lot of people appreciate the tremendous pressure that Joe Bungie's been under, taking this team, the preseason #1 rated team, and have to go all year to the state championship game. The constant pressure, even when they won, sometimes it wasn't. Has done a great job at Naperville Central.
3rd and very long. Pump fakes it. Lavery looking, shoots it across the middle. In and out of the hands of Kevin Gerwig, well short of the 1st down. No question, the pressure is all on Naperville Central. John Thorne and we've talked about teams being happy to be here. Well, this is a team with 6 junior starters. They are very happy to be here.
And they've played well enough to be here. The thing is with Joe Bungie that there's often times when you have a juggernaut like they do, if you don't win by enough, you get some pressure, get some heat. And he has done a great job. Sometimes you get this many good players. It's putting that chemistry together and have them play game in and game out as well as they have.
Munson is the punter, and he shanks this. Out of bounds on the 30-yard line, a punt of 4 yards. Let's go down to David Southwell. It's a break for Wheaton Warrenville.
Guys, there are a lot of happy Tiger fans up there in the stands, but I've got the Cheshire Wildcat right here. Northwestern Wildcat kicker Doug McLeod, who's very familiar to the scenery down here. He was responsible, a big part, for Wheaton Central winning the championship in 1992. Doug, how's it feel now to be going and smelling the roses in Pasadena?
Oh, it's going to be great. It's a big step for Northwestern, and I think the whole nation's pretty much jumped on the bandwagon. It's a great season, and everyone's really happy, in Evanston especially.
And can you tell me about the prognostication here for your Tigers here? You've come down with a huge throng of former Tigers. I think the whole 1992 team is here. What do these teams have to do here to get the lead and to win this ball game?
I don't know. I guess the most important thing I see is just to be a team. I mean, that's how we want it. And I think they're sticking together, and our coaching staff is great, and they have a great game plan. And with Coach Muhich behind the defense, I think it's going to be a battle.
There you go, from Doug McLeod. He'll be battling for the starting job next year at the kicker for Northwestern. Let's go back up to Mike.
Yes, we remember Doug McLeod. He kicked the field goal to tie it in regulation. Then because of a penalty, he had to do it again from 5 yards back. You talk about pressure. Here's Kelly Crosby. Flag goes down. Crosby on 2nd and long goes to the 32-yard line, brought down by Josh Hawkins, but there is a penalty.
I think we got another hold back there, Mike.
Oh, clip. Get a clip against the offense. So Wheaton Warrenville is moving backwards here.
Good shot of John Thorne. He's brought his team down. This is the 4th time he's been down here. That's a tremendous accomplishment to be able to do that. To get here once, but to be able to come down here as consistently as they have shows you the staff and the players and the type of program that they have at Wheaton Warrenville South.
Doug McLeod had a 21-yard field goal to tie the 92 championship with 5 seconds left on the clock. He kicked it. It went through against the wind. Then there was a penalty against Wheaton Warrenville, so he had to kick again, this time from 26 yards. Nothing but the whole season riding on it. He made it, and Wheaton Warrenville won it in double overtime, but we may get to that later. 2nd down, a mile and a half. Well, 2nd and 26 from their own 14. Wheaton Warrenville with 2 backs, 2 receivers split. Wilka, the quarterback draw goes nowhere. Lee Smentek, big down lineman number 64, making the play, and Naperville Central, with a little bit of help from penalties on Wheaton Warrenville, putting a lot of pressure on.
This is a great call, even though it doesn't go anywhere. This is a great call because the linebackers are dropping. They figure they're going to try and get a big yardage play back. They might throw the ball, but on the other hand, you don't want to throw an interception here and give Naperville Central field position. So this was an excellent call, even though they didn't get off the ground too well. 3rd and 27. The Tigers backed up to their own 13 as Grilka, changing the play at the line of scrimmage, calls in the backs to listen. Grilka the option, the pitch. Crosby, and Kelly Crosby gets up to the 20-yard line. David Spiker stops him there, and it's going to be 4th down and a zip code. There's a back that we're going to hear a lot about next year, and we've got a long way to go today in this ball game. He's really come on. To think that he was a JV player early on and has really come through. 626 yards and 10 touchdowns coming in today's ball game.
Johnson will punt. Cleary and O'Shea, the 2 deep men. 6 minutes to go here. We are tied at 7.
Nice kick.
Back to his own 40. O'Shea to midfield and down to the 40-yard line of Wheaton Warrenville South. Long punt, 40 yards out, 20 yards back. 5:50 to go. We'll take a break right here. Score is tied. You're looking at and listening to the Eye of the Tiger, the Wheaton Warrenville South Tiger Band, Playing on their team, they are tied with Naperville Central at 7, 5:50 to go. Here in the second quarter, that's where we are at Illinois State. I'm Mike Lederman. He's Jack McInerney. And Wheaton Warrenville on defense now as Tim Lavery and Naperville Central go to work. Stevens, the lone setback.
They're playing off a fin here. They're trying to audible. He's jumping back and forth.
Pump fake and Lavery throws it. Knocked off the line of scrimmage, but it's intercepted by Big Gene Beard. And Gene Beard, what a play he made. Lavery drags him down at the 34-yard line of Naperville Central. Devin Finn got a big paw on it. Finn at 6'6". Beard at 6'2", 11". Comes down with the pick, takes it back 21 yards. Big turnover.
He just drills this ball in here, just sticks like he's got Velcro right there. He bats it, and all of a sudden he just sticks in his arm, and now it's a foot race. And of course, Lavery is a pretty good athlete. I don't think he was going to outrun him, but that's a big, big play. 7th interception of the season against Tim Lavery. So now Wheaton, Warrenville, and Brilko go to work on Naperville Central 34. This is Crosby swinging it out. And Crosby, as a host of tacklers come get him, but not before he crosses the 25-yard line. About a yard short of a first down, if that. Cleary wrapped him up. Nice job there running the counter trap. And as we mentioned before, Crosby does not possess great speed, but he's a good athlete and he runs extremely hard. He has good size at 5'11", 180 pounds. And you can see right here how he lowers that shoulder and he loses the football right at the end, right here. But in a very alert Steve Strand, 6'1", 195-pound guard, getting downfield, recovers it. Sternad on the recovery, and here is Brilka to throw it. Can't find the receiver. Brilka turning the corner, first down and more, and Brilka goes out of bounds. Hawkins knocks him out. Looking at two excellent quarterbacks here that have a great ability to scramble and make something happen. As long as they have the ball in their hand, the secondary has to have good control of their movements in that zone and playing man coverage. They can't let those guys go. First time two teams from the same conference have met in a championship game since this series in any class started 22 years ago. From the 20, it's 1st and 10. St. Myers split left in the eye. And they give it to Crosby straight ahead, and Kelly Crosby just a couple of yards. Looks like Svela, the nose man. There's Mike Svela. His sister Jenny, a state athlete as well. She was top 4 in the state in both singles and doubles and tennis. Mike, you can pull those right out of your hat. No, I saw her play, and very well, thank you. Graduated a year or so ago. I'm sure she's pulling for little brother Mike. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 from the 17. Touchdown going through. Touchdown for the fullback Workman. Outside Beer, great job. Sternad and Moriaki on the block. Jordan Workman finishing it off. 200-pound senior. And believe it or not, that's Jordan Workman's first touchdown of the season. It's the outside veer that they run. They double down and they do a nice job, and you'll see it coming right at your screen, the top of your screen right there. The tight end, Aaron Stephanus, blocks down, and a good job. Actually, the play is keyed by Tim Broca reading that outside linebacker, and he gives the ball to Workman, and he scores the touchdown. Milan for the extra point. It is good. So Naperville Central falls behind as Wheaton Warrenville South takes advantage of the turnover, and they are up 14-7. Let's take a look again here. Jordan Workman, again, he is the short man in the I formation, and watch him go here. You could see how he read that outside linebacker, and Greg Brookley came up the field for the quarterback, and he gave it to the fullback coming underneath on the outside veer, and it's a touchdown. Great job by the quarterback. Tim Broca engineering the drive after the interception. 4 plays, 34 yards, a minute 40, and it is 14-7 with 4 minutes left to go here in the first half. I think you fans at home can see what we were talking about early on when we talked about how important Tim Broca is to this offense for Wheaton. And we've heard so much about Tim Lavery, player of the year for the Chicago Sun-Times and All-Stater, tremendous stats. But when it comes down to a game like this, sometimes you got to pick out one particular player that could move it in one direction or another for a ball club. And to this point, it's been Tim Broca, and he's really done it throughout the playoffs.
And remember, their #1 ball carrier, Bill Gerlesitz, is out. And that puts a little more pressure on the subs, but they have certainly responded.
I think that's a shot of Bill right there on the crutches.
Number 24, that is him.
700 yards and 11 touchdowns standing there with those crutches.
Milam on the kick, taking it to 15. Juking, juking, juking. Flag goes down. And Shearer does too. Jason Shearer at about the 29, but there was a flag thrown as the ball was received. My guess.
It's either a hold or a clip from where that was thrown.
That would be my guess. 3:52 to go, first half.
It's a clip.
Let's see if we can see the clip. Hey, take a look there at Boyd, who is the special teams wedge buster, jawbreaker, if you will. He's gone through 3 sets of shoulder pads.
Tell you what, he comes down hard.
Well,
that's kind of a interesting call there, but that's what it was.
Now it comes out.
Clipping by the receiving team during the run back, half the distance to the goal, first down.
You'll watch Derek Boyd. We'll see him. He's sort of the Mo Douglas of this team. Seriously, John Thorne said he's gone through 3 sets of shoulder pads. He's not that big.
But you can see how when you're running that hard down to cover a kick, I mean, he's going full speed coming down the field. He's not trotting down there. You can see that when he makes contact, there's a lot of velocity.
3:52 on the clock in the first half. Trailing by 7. Naperville Central backed up on its own 12-yard line now. We'll start things out. Sending 2 receivers to the right, Cade and Shearer, and 2 to the left. Single back set, and they give it to the single back. And a lot of room for Corey Stevens. Up across the 20. Tim Rimbos, the defensive end, makes the stop, and again, a good call.
Well, he's stretching out the defense, moving that secondary back, and everybody's looking for Tumulty, and he ends up running the draw with Corey Stevens. Not a breakaway threat, but good yardage coming out from their own end.
Pickup of 10, so it is a first down. Now they are back in the eye with Tumulty, the deep back. Stevens again. This time, nothing there, as he is met by Eric Reardon. Stopped him after a short gain, if that.
Good shot of the offensive line there. It's been so great for Naperville all year. Gutt, Kupowitz, Nolda, Bacom, and Monson have done a great job up front.
Munson the biggest at 245. Second and 11. Lavery, a straight drop. Zings it and shoots it for Shearer. And Shearer with a first down and more. The linebacker, Kevin Sampson, makes the stop. 16-yard pickup, and that's a major league play. You see that ball? That's a frozen rope.
It gets there fast. There's no doubt about it. So if you put a quick break, he delivers the ball. It's amazing how well he can throw the football.
Shearer coming back to get it. And after the 16-yard reception, another first down. 2 minutes, 40 seconds to go.
You can see why he wears gloves. You know how when you fastball Nolan Ryle, the catcher would always, his hand be swinging. That's what happens when this kid throws the ball. The receivers are wringing their hands.
Tumulty to the left. Single back again. They whip it across to Tumulty. Tries to get the block, but a good play by Kevin Sampson, as that play was slow to develop. And a short gain out of that.
Just a little quick screen out to the flat to Tumulty. Getting the downfield block, they pull the tackle and hope that the flanker can block the corner and get the tackle over on the safety, but it was slow developing because it almost looked like it was deflected in getting out there. Wheaton South has played good defense all throughout the playoffs, and they're doing a pretty good job here tonight.
You just looked at one of the newer members of the defensive front, Devin Flynn. Look at that passing yardage disparity, but the scoreboard is not showing it. Wheaton South by 7. In motion Stevens. Backfield was empty. Stevens will take this one. he gets close to first down yardage, probably has enough. Kevin Beck making the stop as they left the backfield empty with Stevens in motion.
Stevens caught 19 passes during the regular season, 189 yards and 2 touchdowns. And when you have a passer that can throw like him, you try to utilize as many receivers as you can.
A minute 33 to go in the first half. Ball at the 48. Lavery with 3 receivers right. Ball is tipped. And did he catch it? Did Cade get it? Kevin Cade took the deflected pass, and they rule it a catch. That'll be another first down inside the 40. Kevin Cade, 5'11" senior, his 20th reception. And it came off a Wheaton Warrenville tip.
You can see the velocity throws. It was tipped up front. It's being batted around. Here we get a good shot to see whether he... Good hands. That's a good catch. Great camel work.
That was Kevin Beck, you saw, tipping it for Wheaton Warrenville. Gain to the 39. 3 receivers left, 1 right. A minute 7 to go. Lavery with time, and it just ran out as Finn getting the sack, his 3rd of the season.
Great play. Lavery tried to go to the other side. You can see right here, he looks that way, but he wants to come back towards our side right here. He pumps, looks this way. By the time he turns, Devin Finn, 6'6", 250-pound senior, is right in his face.
Well, John Thorne also talks about his interior linemen, the tackle, nose, and tackle. He calls it the TNT group of Beard, Divalbus, and Reardon. These are guys, none of whom started at any level last year. And they are all playing a very important part in the defense. They're not the big name guys. They don't get the big stats, but they create enough chaos for the secondary and the linebackers, and occasionally big Devin Finn to capitalize, as he did right there. Sack, a loss of 11 yards.
Well, that's usually the case. The linemen either side of the ball, whether it's offensively or defensively, they don't get the press. They rarely get their picture in the paper or their name mentioned, but without them doing the job up front, these teams would not be in this game right now.
Reardon's a tennis player too. You know I'm partial to tennis.
Well,
but you know his
that
partner.
impression.
That's right. You know his partner is Larry Moriarty, tennis player at 300 pounds. So you know the kid can move.
Well, I saw
either
him
that or
going,
he plays a whale of a net game.
Well, I was going to say, you know, he's a good short man. I saw him going down in the kickoff, and he was really moving. I was really impressed with him.
Very mobile. Several Division I schools are after him. 2nd and 22. Lavery airs it out. Intended for Tumulty, but too far. Bring up a 3rd down with 52 seconds to go.
Joe's got a big job of gum in there.
Sending Kevin Gerwig in with the play. Gerwig and Cade alternate the wide receiver spot.
Joe Bunge's done a great job in his career. He's had a career record of 144 wins and 44 losses. 81 and 30 at Naperville Central.
3rd and 22. Lavery pressure pursued by Moriarty, and everybody else lays it out and overshoots the receiver. It looked like it was Jeff Cronenboom. But big pressure from the defensive line. Beard and Finn had Lavery running for his life. Again, you see how much he can get on the ball, even though he's backpedaling.
Well, now Troy Munson, who was the offensive tackle at 6'3", 245, is back to punt. He's averaged 36 yards a punt. Doesn't have a lot of agility back there, but he does get the ball off.
Even less because he's had a knee problem. Angles this one away and takes a good roll for Naperville Central inside the 20. Down by Svela at the 16. 35-yard punt, no return. 35 seconds to go. Naperville Central will have one last series here. That's a pretty sight. Good attendance today. The weather couldn't be better. We had a phenomenal 5A game. A lot of folks have stayed from that game as well as have come for the 6A.
There's a shot of the home side here where the press box is. Had great crowds down here the entire weekend. Some great football being played.
Clock is running with 20 seconds to go. Roca deep in his own territory will take the delay. Well, there were still 6 seconds left on the clock. Let's see what the call is. Larry Williams is talking to his fellow officials. We got something coming up here. There was time left.
Substitution infraction by the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Okay.
Well, we didn't see it, so I couldn't hazard a guess what that could be. Could have been an illegal number at a position.
In this situation, it will probably be just a snap and a kneel, and we'll end the first half. The clock is running. Brilka with the handoff, and a little more than a snap and a kneel. Gain of about 8 yards, but that will do it. I don't know. Final seconds tick off. That's right, that will do it. Both teams will head to the locker room. That's the end of the first half. Wheaton Warrenville South leading the top team in the state, Naperville Central. The bands take the field. We'll take leave, but we'll be back shortly. Halftime, and the Tigers of Wheaton Warrenville South are leading Naperville Central by a score of 14-7, the 6A title match. Let's go down on the field to David Southwell. He's got Redhawks coach Joe Bungie.
Yeah, hi, I'm with Joe Bungie on the sideline, Naperville Central head coach. Joe, they've stopped you guys here, but you've been stopped before. You've come back from every playoff game you've been down. What do you have to do to come back in this game right now?
Well, we can't stop ourselves. That's what we're doing right now. We've penalties and interceptions. Ran a couple wrong routes. You know, we just have to be more disciplined.
How about defensively? They've come up with the big plays. Are you going to change any schemes? This team has seen you. Do you have any new wrinkles for them?
No, we're not. We're going to stay with what we practice all week long and hope that we're successful in stopping them. You know, they've done a good job of running the football.
Joe, is it harder to beat a team twice? Do they have an advantage in that way psychologically?
Oh, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Okay, that's Joe Bungie. Our halftime guest here, Naperville Central's trailing by 7, but they've been down all 4 playoff games. Let's see if Naperville Central can come back. Let's take it back upstairs. Mike?
Thank you, David. Thank you, Joe. Well, you can see Joe Bungie is not quite ready to panic yet. Not by
well, when you've got that kind of an offense, I wouldn't either. And he's not going to panic the whole day. He can score at any time. But I'll tell you what, Wheaton Warrenville's doing a real good job of playing defense and probably doing some tricks that they're not used to right now.
Taking a look at the scoring summary, Naperville Central on its first drive went right down the field. Talk about a surgical drive. 14 plays, took up nearly 6 minutes on the clock. The pass from Tim Lavery to Corey Stevens, 11-yard touchdown reception, made it 7-0. Meanwhile, right at the beginning of the second quarter, Tim Brilka took off on an inside run, went 61 yards, didn't stop until he crossed the goal line, tied it up at 7. And then following the big interception, the turnover, the run back by Gene Beard, Workman, the fullback, who hadn't scored a touchdown all season long, goes 17 yards with the point after to give the Tigers a 14-7 lead. All right, we know nothing's been decided here, but you have to credit Wheaton Warrenville. This was not a team that was supposed to get here in the first place. It's absolutely showing no fear to Naperville Central right now.
Well, you know, they come out of DuPage Valley, which is recognized as one of the top high school conferences in the Chicago area, if not in the state. They play great competition week in and week out. They're not intimidated at all.
And there's another thing. There is playoff experience here. Naperville Central's got all the pressure on it. It was expected to get here. It went 13-0. Wheaton Warrenville, coming out of the 6th seed, again, would like to be here. They've been here before 3 times in the last 5 years, but it'd be a lot better for them to win than it would be for Naperville Central, even if Naperville Central did come back, and certainly they might well do that.
Well, they will, but the thing is that what's interesting about this ball game is the key to both teams is the quarterback. As long as those quarterbacks have the football in their hands, they're both great scramblers and they're outstanding passers, anything can happen at any time.
And you still have to watch Tumulty, you still have to watch Shearer, and of course you got to watch Tim Brilka over there on the Wheaton Warrenville side. We'll be back. More activity here. It's 14-7. As night falls, we'll take leave, but we'll be back. The Tigers lead the Redhawks 14-7, the 6A championship game here at a balmy, I say balmy, Hancock Stadium. And Bloomington normal. And Jack, some of the weather we've had for this tournament, we're just ready to break out the suntan look.
Well, I had to take off my coat and get to my sweater. It was starting to warm up so much I thought I was going to lose some weight and have to put on lotion. We really had great weather for the way that it has been the last 3 weekends, and it really is a benefit to these players down here.
Yeah, fashion tips from the coach, Jack McInerney, especially when you think about the Naperville Central Naperville North game that was played in a swamp just a few weeks ago. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the highlights. The Naperville Central put on one of its precise drills, 14 plays, 85 yards, ended up with this 11-yard pass from Tim Lavery to fullback Corey Stevens.
Well, he gets him out in the flat off that play action, and that's the key with Tumulty with the fake.
7-0 for Naperville Central, but Tim Brilka, the option quarterback for Wheaton Warrenville South. First series of the second quarter, he took off, supposed to be a short gain. 61 yards later, he was still running.
Well, he cuts back against pursuit, and a great team like Naperville Central, they pursue well to the ball. He cuts back against the grain, it's a foot race, and he wins the race.
61 yards, 3 plays, and that tied the game up at 7 after the PAT from Jeff Milam. Here's the big play so far, the turnovers. Lavery went back to pass, and you'll watch Devin Finn, number 90, get the big hand on it.
Well, it's 6-6. That's going to happen. You can see jump fakes there, and then he goes up again, and he gets it.
And he tips it over to Gene Beard, and Gene Beard is off.
Gene Beard is not used to running like this, but he gets his Heisman pose out there, gives a straight arm, and comes up with good field position for Wheaton Warrenville South.
Deep into Naperville Central territory, and that culminated with this handoff to the fullback Workman.
Outside Veer does a nice job of faking, gives the ball to Workman, 17-yard touchdown.
That's where we are right now. Naperville Central trailing Wheaton Warrenville South 14-7. Lots more action to go. Let's take a look at some of the statistics from the first half. The ground game has really been in favor of Wheaton Warrenville South. Take a look at the difference in passing yards, but what matters is on the scoreboard.
Well, that and the fact that if you look at total yards and time of possession, we've got a good matchup here right now. I'm looking forward to the second half. It's going to be a barn burner.
Only one turnover. That, of course, the one we just showed you. It led to the lead touchdown for Wheaton Warrenville. And John Thorne, Wheaton Warrenville South, again, he's got the playoff experience. Joe Bungie has not. What's going on? We heard Joe tell David Southwell, I'm not changing anything. He said that to me before the game. He said that to you before the game. Is that the truth?
Absolutely. I mean, Joe Bungie, they've had 13 wins in a row. They've played under tremendous pressure. All through the playoffs, they have come from behind. He's got a very potent offense, a good defense. They're clicking on all cylinders. There's no reason to panic. They're just in another football game. Although it's a big football game, these kids know pressure. Joe Bungie knows pressure, and they've done a great job. They'll do a good job in the second half.
Speaking of doing a good job, I guess we could take a moment here to congratulate the Northwestern Wildcats. They are heading to Pasadena, in case you haven't heard, the Thunder Boomers all over the Chicago area. What a job by Gary Barnett. The dream season continues, and this game, we hope, will be a dream to finish up, and Wheaton Warrenville and Naperville Central hope they'll finish a dream season with a championship. We'll be back with the second half kickoff after this. Now dusk over Bloomington. We're getting ready for the start of the second half. And you're looking at Hancock Stadium on the campus of Illinois State University. We hope you've enjoyed the whole Thanksgiving Football Fest that Sports Channel is presenting for the IHSA 1A through 6A, and we have had some whale of a ball game here.
It really has been exciting. I mean, we've had great high school games here. There's been great college games over the weekend. This is outstanding.
Let's go down to David Southwell. David, the field conditions as balmy down there as they were up in the press box?
Mike, it's still nice down here, and there's virtually no wind. If it becomes a big game that's going to come down to the last play for a field goal or a long pass, the stage is set perfectly. The big thing that Wheaton has done here, they held this team to 21 points the first time they played them. 21-16, that's the closest game Naperville Central's had all year, and they know the team like a book, and they've been playing them like that, holding their passing game, and Lavery, the best quarterback in the state, to virtually a non-existent first half outside of one drive. Very impressive.
All right, David, thank you. You're looking at Jason Shearer, who is ready to return the kick off the foot of Jeff Milam as we are all set to start second half action. Wheaton Warrenville in the black, kicks it off, and this is Mark Pollock on his own 18. Pollock's got some room, 30, and Pollock dragged down at the 35-yard line. Dan Newsom One of the offensive running, we talked about him, the track man, making the play. And so Tim Lavery will go to work as we start things after that 18-yard return. Go Tigers, they're saying, but it's time for the Red Hawks to start. Tumulty and Stevens in motion. This is the pitch to Tumulty, and Tumulty, who's been held in check, gets 4 to 5 yards. Devin Finn on the stop. You know, Tumulty really hasn't broken anything in this game so far.
He really hasn't, but one of the factors that's so important is that first down play to pick up 4 yards. So that gives you an awful lot of options coming back on 2nd and 3rd down, and especially with a quarterback like Tim Lavery, you know that he can pick up 6 yards on any particular down.
Well, he's only got 16 yards with a long of 10. Here is Lavery to throw over the middle. He's got the tight end Grotback, and Grotback with good yardage across midfield to the 41-yard line of Wheaton, Warrenville. Kevin Whitcanack, backup defensive back on the stop, and here again, this is what Lavery does best.
Watch Todd Grotbach coming underneath the linebackers right there. You see the depth of the linebackers is way too deep, and he's just taking a drag route right underneath them, and the ball's delivered by Lavery. And Todd Grotbach is 6'4", 195-pound junior, so when he gets the football, he can ramble.
20-yard gain, 2 receivers split left, and again the give to Tumulty, and Finn says hello, a loss of 4.
Don't come my way, he's telling him.
Now this is all part of the grand plan here that John Thorne had as you watch Finn get Tumulty for the loss. Finn started out as an offensive end. He's 6'6". The quarterback was 5'8" and had trouble seeing over the lineman to find Finn and throw the ball, which was a waste of both their talents. So they moved Finn over on the defensive side, and Tumulty and Tim Brook has got a little bit more opportunity to throw as he sprints out. Here is Lavery again with the play action. Once again, it's Grotback, and Grotback knocked out of bounds by Jason Skinner, and they pick up about half the yardage they needed.
That was the same play action off the run fake that they had in the previous play, which was a counter to the guard and tackle. Watch the guard and tackle pulling here. The fullback right there, 33, slips out into the flat. The tight end is coming across the field, and he just dumps it over the top of that outside linebacker. And that's been a very good play for the Red Hawks today.
Under 10 minutes to go, 3rd down and 7, 3 receivers left. Lavery looking, flags go down over the middle, intended for Shearer, and it is dropped, but there's a penalty flag thrown before the play.
And he really drilled
that
ball
before the catch. There's Bungie.
Joe's done a great job of keeping all of these Eagles in place all year, and in all of these difficult situations.
From the reaction, it looks like it's going to go against Wheaton Warrenville. Check that signal. Used to be an eligible receiver downfield.
Yeah. Wheaton Warrenville South.
Let's hear it from Larry Williams.
We have illegal participation by the defense, 12 men on the field, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, sometimes you got to do that against Tim Lavery, but they got caught on that one.
And that is a severe penalty, 15 yards.
I'm not too happy there. Terry Moore comes off the field, number 17.
Ball goes down to the 23, so this is a huge break for Naperville Central. Gerwig flanks to the left, 2 backs in the eye, and this is Tumulty. And Tumulty again for very short yardage. Divalbis, number 50, along with Brad Camden, number 41. Stop him after a gain of 1.
Well, the key to stopping him in between the tackles is that TNT, as you had mentioned earlier, Mike, of Rimbos, Beard, and Reardon. They've got to pinch down on those tackles so that they're not able to get movement off the defensive line. That's the whole key to the zone scheme, is to get movement.
Give Tumulty 3 yards. We have a 2nd and 7. Lavery changing the play. Looking for Cade again. It's deflected. It's a volleyball up there. And it falls incomplete. It looked like Eric Reardon got the big hand on it there. And that was a free ball.
Again, he's throwing it to the other side here, and I think it's Devon Finn. Let's take a look right here. Nope, it's deflected right there by Eric Reardon, number 64.
He caught fair catch here. I think the two of them with Beard got in each other's way. Otherwise, it was an easy pick.
They're taking away the passing lane. That's exactly what they did there. They just stepped outside and held their ground, took away the lane for that inside slant.
3 receivers to the left. Lavery again over the middle. He's been living on that play. The fullback again, Corey Stevens, brought down by Johnson and Camden. First down yardage.
One of the keys on this is that Tim Lavery has such a quick release and gets the ball there so quickly. The guy could be open, but he just gets it there so fast. You can see the ball right on the money, drills it right in between 2 rushing linemen, and he's just a real special kind of player.
The surgeon is operating now. First and goal from the 5.
Power eye.
Pitch it to Lavery. This time he's got the hole. Touchdown, Naperville Central. Behind Troy Monson, Jim Tumulty. Touchdown number 24 on the ground.
Well, they show power one way, and they come back with the toss the other way, and you can see the nice block upfield by Troy Munson, number 63. Then he just turns in behind the fullback and the kickout block, and there's another touchdown for Jim Tumulty.
26th of the season, 23rd on the ground. Going for two.
Great confidence in the offense.
Lavery in trouble. Throws it. He's got a man wide open. And that is Kevin Cade. It's a 2-point conversion. 15-14. Central has got the lead. Go Central, says the sign. Well, they've gone. They're up by 1. 8:40 to go. We'll be back. .8:40 left in the third quarter. Naperville Central has taken the lead. Watch Tim Lavery go to work. The pitch to Tumulty.
Key to this is the block by Corey Stevens kicking out, and by Troy Munson, the tackle. Nice job by Tumulty cutting up against the grain.
Going for 2 on the lead. Lavery to Kevin Cade, and Kevin Cade is all alone.
But great athleticism. As long as you have a quarterback that can scramble and throw the way Tim Lavery does, you've always got something going.
Pollock kicks it off. Wheaton Warrenville takes it. Crosby across the 20. Pollock, the linebacker, stops him, along with number 55, Christopher Gaillon. 9 yards, 9 plays, 66 yards, 320. But the big play there, of course, was the too many men on the field penalty against Wheaton Warrenville.
Well, those are things that you don't, you go with personnel in certain situations, and somebody was asleep there, and players should know that.
Tim Brilka has his team trailing by 1. Workman and Crosby, the backfield. They give it to Workman. And Workman does a very workman-like job there, getting good yardage, close to first down yardage, across the 30.
In order to be able to run that option effectively, they've got to make sure that they run the ball in between the guards as far as holding those inside linebackers so they don't scrape off tackle too quickly when they start running the outside veer.
They need 1 for a first down. Stetler split to the right and stuffing that play big time. Josh Hawkins.
Now they need 4.
Coming up for a loss of 3.
Josh Hawkins, one of the leading tacklers on that Naperville Central defense. He's tough to run against.
Clock running, 7:25, third down. Receiver split right is Brumfield. And here is Broca, the inside handoff, and nothing doing there. Somebody's under that pile. I believe it's Workman. Surrounded by white jerseys. And it's going to bring up fourth down. Josh Hawkins again at the bottom of that pile. So a good defensive effort there by Naperville Central, forcing the punt. Corey Johnson will kick it away to Naperville Central. Rocky O'Shea, along with Cleary, the two backs. Good kick. Nice and high. Fair catch called for by Cleary, his own 33. 6:28 to go here. 35-yard punt, no return. Naperville Central holding Wheaton Warrenville, and we'll go back on offense. A lot of fan support here for both teams, and the Naperville Central red and white, the Red Hawks boosters, are really opening up now.
Some of these people came in the fourth quarter of that first ball game and kind of got an early hype for this game. What an exciting 5A championship game we had, and this certainly has been the carryover to it.
First down from the 34. Lavery, Tumulty.
Oh, what a play.
Down by Finn.
Great
Just
play.
gave him a little necktie job right there. Devin Finn, you can see what Tumulty's got to do and get that equipment fixed.
And he actually ran him down here from the backside. You can see what great movement he has for 6'6", 250 pounds. Obviously, John Thorne knew what he was doing when he put him at outside linebacker. He's mobile. He can move.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Lavery with 3 receivers out, wings it across the field, and he's got Scherer, who's been quiet. Right at the first down marker, Jason Skinner on the defense.
Great timing here by Lavery. They work on these routes all summer long. He's just a little rollout, gets the lineman out in front of him, and he just drills it. It's a comeback route. Jason Scherer knows exactly where that first down marker is, and he takes into consideration. He catches the ball, he gets tackled, he still gets the first down.
11-yard pickup, 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. 15-14, Naperville Central leading. Scherer comes here to the near side. Clock at 5:25, third quarter. Tumulty on a straight handoff, and Tumulty turns the corner. That's his best run of the day inside the 40-yard line. Good block by Jerry Cutt, the left tackle. 16-yard pickup. Here it is.
Counter trap, guard kicking out, tackle following. Great job by Jerry Cutt, the tackle, and Ben Kupowitz. And Tumulty breaking outside. He's not known for great speed, and his speed obviously is cut down now with that bad leg, but he has real quick feet. He moves real well and runs with power.
Also has an older brother, Scott, 3-time All-America at Augustana. A tailback. Family bloodlines. 1st and 10, 39-yard line. Naperville Central looking for more, and again it's Tumulty inside, dragged down by Sampson, but again getting into the secondary.
Again, the zone scheme up front. The offensive linemen take Wheaton, Warrenville South, wherever they want to go. You just watch right here. They get off the ball, they block down. He just runs in behind them and just picks a spot to run to. No specific call, just between the tackles.
You know what we're seeing here, Jack, is what we saw at the Naperville Central, Naperville North game. If you could see anything at that game, if you remember how miserable the weather was. This offensive line of Naperville Central, not big, but extremely cohesive, and they wear down the opposition later in the game. 2nd and 4, gain of 6. Scherer to the left. Pitch it to Tumulty again around the right side, and again he is thrown for a loss. This time by number 89, Aaron Stefanis, who used to be on the defensive front, switched over to tight end in that mid-season shakeup by John Thorne. Stefanis now back at tight end. Well, actually, the outside linebacker spot in the 5-2.
Interesting, they have a shakeup. They go 7-2. There are only 2 losses to Naperville North and Naperville Central in that kind of a league.
And one of those losses, the one to North, was after the shakeup. John Thorne said, "We just played a terrible game." On 3rd and 5, Lavery as the pocket collapses, and he is sacked. Coverage sack right there as all sorts of pressure put on. Eugene Beard, number 91. Coming in as well as number 99, Dan O'Brill.
What they did here, the key was they kept him inside. You can see how they stayed outside. They wouldn't flush him outside where he is so effective throwing on the run. They forced him to stay in the pocket. Both outside linebackers and tackles had outside contained. The nose man came up the middle. They forced him to stay in the pocket. Great job.
Big defensive stop for Wheaton Warrenville South. Schweikert to receive this punt. That is taking a tremendous roll. What a job by Troy Munson. Down at the 2.
That's just luck right there. It just took that bounce. It looked like it was going to the end zone, and it just stopped and came back, made a left turn at the 1.
Buckler, the linebacker, on special teams here, downing the ball at the 2. So an excellent effort, a 42-yard kick by Troy Munson. Talk about putting the opposition in a hole. They're going to go to work. 3:11 to go, trailing by a point from their own 2-yard line.
This is always a tough situation. You want to get the ball out, because if you have to punt here, if you don't get a first down, it's real important here, because then if you have some kind of a drive, at least in the first series, if you have to punt in the second series, then you're going to punt them at least to midfield or so. If you had a punt from down here, you're going to give them the ball about the 30 or 35-yard line. Naperville Central doesn't need any help.
Being working in the backfield, and Broca on the keeper and gets 2 yards out to the 4-yard line as he kept the ball. Spiker in on the stop along with Mike Svela. Clock at 2.5 and counting. You see it in the right corner of the picture, or you did. Tim Broca's numbers. 1 touchdown, that big 61-yard run. He's been thrown for losses since. 2nd down, 8. And the quick inside handoff, and again, not very much there for Crosby. Out to the 7, there's Josh Hawkins and Lee Smentek.
Big play coming up here. 3rd and about 4. Boy, oh boy. Who does that remind you of?
One of your high school dates?
There you go. How do you guys know that?
Looking for a line. 3rd and 4. Loaded up on the eye. And they give it to the 3rd man through, and short of the first down. Crosby did not get it. John Thorne looking on. Rocky O'Shea, one of the many tacklers there, and they will have to punt out of their own end zone with Corey Johnson.
And again, if they can field the punt here, which is so very important on AstroTurf, field the punt so it doesn't get the big bounces, they're going to be in excellent field position. And Naperville Central, with that potent offense, doesn't need any help with the field position.
Cleary at the top, O'Shea at the bottom of the picture you just saw. They're standing at the Wheaton Warrenville 45. Gets the kick away. O'Shea at the 43, and O'Shea loses the ball. Wheaton Warrenville went to pick it up. Looked like Stetler had it, then lost it.
They got it.
But they did come out with it. The Tigers have the ball. Big turnover as Wheaton Warrenville got out of a huge hole, and Naperville Central could have had great field position. Here, Rocky O'Shea.
Rocky O'Shea coming up. He doesn't put the ball away right here. There's the ball on the ground. Now watch the athleticism here. He's smart enough to try and pick it up. Doesn't get it. The 2nd man recovers it.
Give Tim Rimbos the credit for jarring that ball loose. 2nd turnover. The first one led to a touchdown. So Wheaton Warrenville South, the Tigers in business here on their own 34. Broca. And DJ Johnson, the sophomore cornerback, stayed with him because Broca had everybody fooled with the sleight of hand. Everybody went to the left, and Broca went to the right. Gets about 7 yards. Wheaton Warrenville will continue. But right now, that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Naperville Central by 1, 15-14. Start of the fourth quarter. We're set for another big finish. Naperville Central, #1 in the state by 1 over Wheaton Warrenville South. I'm Mike Liederman with Jack McInerney. And reminding you that our next Chicago Bulls game, yeah, we've got them too, will be Sunday. Live coverage 6:30. The Bulls game time. Bulls and Sonics follow at 7 o'clock. Those Bulls. I like those black uniforms. Meanwhile, here are some black uniforms moving the ball from their own 41. Second down and 3. Wheaton Warrenville. Broca can't find a receiver.
Ooh, mama.
Mentek with him, and he overshoots.
He had him open in the flat.
He overshoots the receiver. Meanwhile, Smentek put a lot of heat on Tim Broca. Joe Bungie. Let's take a look at this, Jack, because there wasn't anybody free. And
he scrambles left. Nobody there. Scrambles back right. And tries to make something happen. And as you can see, he's throwing away. And the ball rises because he's at the top of the crown throwing downhill. And that happens.
Field slopes intended for St. Meyer. Now a 3rd and 3. One receiver split right. Broca looking for him. Shoots it over. It's Brumfield. What a catch if he's got it. Both players have it. In which
They'll
case
give it to the receiver on this. Yep.
Yeah. That's what happens.
Great throw.
DJ Johnson. Great coverage on the slant, but what a throw by Broca. And Brumfield makes a fine catch. There's Mike Brumfield.
Can't beat the coverage here. I mean, he just drills this slant in between the corner, the safety, and the linebacker. And you can see right here, it's like a tie at first base. Tie goes to the runner here, in this case to the offense, and the receiver gets the possession call.
So a big first down gathered in by Mike Brumfield, 5'11" senior. His dad and John Thorne are old buddies going back to their Illinois Wesleyan days. And that's the first down of the second half for Wheaton Warrenville. They trail by 1. 1st and 10 from the Naperville 42. Broca turns it up, runs into his own man as well as Josh Hawkins, and gets a yard or 2.
Well, again, running the outside veer. He tries to cut back in. You'll see when he takes more than 2 steps right here, it's going outside. He sees the linebackers flowing, tries to cut right back in here. But good pursuit and a good job by Hawkins. And Nick Polio, the other linebacker.
St. Meyer split left. Brumfield in the slot. The 2 backs in the eye. On the pitch, it's to Crosby, and Crosby tries to break the tackle, but Svela will not let him go.
Oh, we got
a 38-yard line, and
going to be against Naperville Central, Mike.
And flags, and a couple of the
against 2. Mr. Hawkins.
A couple of the Naperville Central players were trying to protest to the officials, but we'll see what this is.
Let's take a look at it here. It's just the lead option out here, speed option. Tries to cut back in here, does a nice job, a little holding right there. You can see right at the end of the play it's going to happen. He's down. Right now he's down. Let's see what happens. Anybody keeps coming right in. There's the shot right here. There you go. And
looks like Hawkins gave him that shot.
That's a big play for Wheaton South.
On the defense, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Needless play.
Not to be too cruel, but one dumb play deserves another from one on each side. This is
not a real smart play.
Well, it was a dumb play on the part of Wheaton Warrenville. They had too many men on the field, and this gives Wheaton Warrenville a 1st and 10 on the Central 22, and again flags fly.
I think somebody lined up in the neutral zone here. That's what the case is.
And this time the Red Hawks are pointing in the direction of back that way toward the opposition.
Dead ball foul, illegal procedure on the offense, 1st down.
Either lined up in the neutral zone or the center had his hand on the ball and took it off and put it back on again on the audible call.
John Thorne, his usual position as we're getting down to crunch time. 10:45 to go. Wheaton Warrenville trailing by a point. 1st and 15. Broca the sprint out. Throws it. Intended for St. Meyer, but the ball was out of bounds. Coverage by Paleo, the linebacker, and Spiker and Grolke putting the pressure on the quarterback.
Kind of gives you an idea of what kind of a athlete Tim Broca is by sprinting out and being able to throw the ball basically right on the money there, just about a yard out of bounds, but still being able to throw the ball on the line. And we see Finn coming in here at tight end.
Well, he knows the position. He played it half the year.
I would have to say, excuse me, Mike, that this is going to be a running play and possibly the Finn side here because he's on Moiaki's side. That's a big, big side of the offensive line for Wheaton.
St. Meyer to the right. Two backs, and they hand it to Workman, and they go the other way, and Workman fighting his way, still going.
Great effort.
Jordan Workman finally dragged down by O'Shea, but that gain should have been a yard or two, and it goes all the way down for 8.
It's the big side of the line here. There's a 250-pounder and a 300-pounder. Not a bad job on Hawkins there.
Big play here, 10 minutes to go, 3rd and 7. They send St. Meyer to the left. Split receiver to the right, the two backs in the set. Roca shoots it, he's got St. Meyer.
Touchdown!
To the 1-yard line, he is in. Touchdown for Joe St. Meyer. What an effort by the senior receiver, 6'3", 200-pounder. His 38th reception of the year, 9th touchdown, and he has put his team ahead.
And again, the quarterback is the one that made it happen. Just being a great athlete, scrambling around, he hangs onto the ball. You can't contain a little kid like this that has that kind of mobility. You can see he throws a rope. It's a great route by Joe St. Meyer, 6'3", 194 pounds. Great catch, but an even better run after the catch.
Saw the signal from the Wheaton Warrenville South teammates. And right now we're getting a timeout as we get the extra point try. Looks like they're going to go for 2 here. 20-15, Wheaton Warrenville leads it now with 9:42 to go. There's the story.
Well, their kicking game hasn't been the strongest. By kicking game, I mean their extra points and their field goals. It's been a real nail biter each time they kick an extra point in all the 3 games that I've seen them. So I think John realized that.
Milam's done pretty well.
But for some reason, the last couple of weeks, and it possibly could be the weather conditions, been kicking a lot of line drives.
He's only missed 3 out of 31, but again,
they need 2 here anyway.
A 5-point lead or a 6-point lead.
Not against Naperville Central.
Going for it, getting the 2 really changed the dynamics of this game. Naperville Central's decision to go for 2 and making it, because now they've got to get a 2-point conversion to hold on to that 7-point lead. And that forces John Thorne's hand a bit. So they are going for 2.
They're in the stacked eye.
3 backs. In the eye, Crosby is the deep back. And Kelly Crosby gets in there, and he scores it.
Like the way he runs.
Roca threw the key block in that. The little quarterback at 5'8". Through the block for the 2-point conversion. Meanwhile, one of the upbacks in there in that stacked eye, Dwayne Zimmerman, normally a linebacker, he'll come in, give him some beef, and we'll watch it here.
Watch the way Crosby flies up in here. I mean, he is running hard. He puts his head down, and he's just going to get in there no matter what. Just flies in there. Great play, great effort up front. But Kelly Crosby, the junior, 5'11", 180-pounder.
Well, we're back on 7s, 22-15. Kind of reminds me a bit of the 3A game. 2 heavyweights slugging it out. You take this. Okay, you take this.
Neither one of them dropping to their knees. Just keep slugging away.
Well, this is a little variation. That's
sure
gender equity if I've ever seen it.
I just wonder if my daughter Kara, who is a cheerleader at Naperville or at Downers Grove North, is watching this. It gives her an idea what her girls can do after touchdowns. Good shot there of Ron Muhich and John Thorne and the 2 other assistants, line coach Bruce Munson and the back coach Denny Walker, have been with John a long time, which adds to the strength of that staff, gives them longevity and continuity.
The story, 8 plays, 64 yards, 2:51 on the clock. Joe St. Meyer, whose brother Steve played in the championship game 3 years ago, gets his 9th touchdown reception of the season. Here is Milam to kick it off. Shearer back deep. taking on his 7. And Jason Shearer again breaks free. A flag goes down. Shearer across the 50, but a penalty flag flies at the 35-yard line. Corey Johnson knocking him out. 46-yard return, but from the looks of things, this one will be coming back.
They've had a couple of big kick returns taken back.
Here's Larry Williams, who's been a busy man the second half.
Again, Shearer, their good kickoff return man.
There you see it, Pollock.
Right
It looked
there.
like number 49, and that's where the flag threw. Mark Pollock.
Good effort there. That's a heck of an effort. He wants to make the tackle.
We have holding by the receiving team during the run back. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Okay, so we will be watching Naperville Central as you're looking at Jason Shearer getting an explanation. Let's go down to David Southwell.
Mike, I got an update here. I was talking with Bill Hughes, the trainer for Naperville Central. Jim Tumulty is showing no effects of his blown out ACL, but in order for him to play every day, he has to ice 5 times with 10 pounds of ice above, 10 pounds of ice below his knee. He gets 20 minutes of electronic stimulation in order to prevent swelling in the joint. He does wear a brace whenever he can, and he stays off it when he gets home, but he has to ice his leg for a good hour and a half every day in order just to play.
All right, David, thank you very much. Grotbeck shifts over to the right side. 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. 9:35 to go in this game. Again, a bobbled snap. Lavery trying to make something happen. Shoots it for Shearer. It's picked off.
Nope.
Kevin Beck.
Incomplete.
Well, the officials now, one is saying yes, one is saying no. Let's get the conference. We'll find it out. What a play by Kevin Beck. And it is ruled an incompletion.
Well, Lavery lost the snap initially, and then he tried to drill the ball in there. Good coverage by the secondary, but he's having a little exchange problem. Tries to drill it right in here. He throws it so darn hard.
There you see it. You see it fall on Beck's right. 2nd and 10 from the 19-yard line. And again, a whistle as Naperville Central goes in motion. A timeout is called. Okay, Lavery didn't like something. So there is timeout on the field. 9:30 to go in the game. Wheaton Warrenville 22, Naperville Central 15. We'll take a break. Stay with us. I don't think you'll be leaving. Blackhawks, cold steel on ice. 2nd and 10 for Naperville Central. They trail by 7. And Lavery to Tumulty, and again the reverse handoff. This is Cade, and this is going nowhere. Well, you talk about not doing anything differently. Well, Devin Finn finally put an end to that mercifully, because that was a play that went bad in about 3 different ways.
Didn't start out good, didn't end good. Just a little too much happening with all that penetration coming from Wheaton South right up the Gazoo. If they were over pursuing at this point, I think that play would have worked a little better, but they just went up the field on that. Didn't get much.
3rd and 18 now. Loss of 8. 3 receivers to the left, and Lavery looking, and down he goes. Rimbos nails him close to the goal line.
Wow.
Tim Rimbos, his 2nd sack of the season, and what a big one that was.
He really comes hard here. You can see this is a coverage sack. There's nowhere to go down the field, and the longer he's hanging on to it, he's getting all that pressure. Great job right there. Lavery's looking for Shear. Now he's looking for Tumulty coming out of the backfield, but the linebacker had knocked Tumulty down. He had nowhere to go.
Loss of 9. 4th and 27. Munson from his own end zone. Just does get it off. And this will be Schweikert letting it bounce inside the 35. Wheaton Warrenville with 8:02 will have possession deep in Naperville Central territory.
He almost had that blocked. And the other part was as close as it was blocked, was almost a roughing the kicker, which would have resulted in the first down for Naperville Central.
Terrence Moore, backup cornerback, almost got a piece of that one. 32-yard punt, no return, of course. And Wheaton Warrenville now with the lead and the ball on the 32-yard line of Central. Gunfield split left. Grilka, the inside handoff. Workman stopped after a gain of a couple.
Jordan Workman's been getting the call tonight. 5'11", 200-pound senior. He hasn't made any great runs besides that touchdown run, but he's been banging up tough inside, which has really helped Wheaton South's offense tonight.
Stetler splits to the left. Workman and Crosby the backs on 2nd and 7. And this is Crosby. Brad Grulke making the stop.
Trying to run the outside veer again.
You see the number 31 on the helmets of all the Wheaton Warrenville South Tigers. That's in respect to Ron Grego, who played for Wheaton Warrenville for a couple of seasons, really the heart and soul of the team last year, who became very, very ill and made a miraculous recovery. Ron Grego is here tonight, and the team saluted him with a thumbs up after calisthenics. A brave young man, an outstanding linebacker for John Thorne, and had a scholarship to Northwestern to play football. And Gary Barnett has said the scholarship is still there for you when you come back. Coming up short is the pass to Chris Stetler. So Grego is here, and what an amazing story that is. They didn't think he would live. There was a question there whether he'd survive at all. He is back now, and he is up here watching the game. And
real strange set of circumstances. He got ill down in Florida, was in a coma for months, and finally recuperated, is still in a wheelchair, but shows you the class of Gary Barnett and Northwestern, keeping the scholarship available to him.
Stefanis the tight end. We've got a 4th and 6 from the 28. Stetler splits it left, St. Meyer to the right. 4th down play. Brilka being pressured. Throws it, batted down by Buckler, the linebacker, and a good play by Naperville Central, which will take over now as Jeff Buckler made the big play to stop Wheaton on 4th down.
Just outstanding athletes here. Buckler at linebacker, he just reads him. Watch him, he's number 21. Watch where the quarterback's going. He's right there. He's just staying parallel with him. Where the quarterback's going, he wants to dump it over the top to the tight end. That's just great reactions right there, because if he had gotten over the top, they had a first down with that tight end.
Stefanis was open, but Buckler made the big play. So the ball goes over. There is Buckler. 6:25 to go, down by a touchdown. Lavery to Tumulty, and Tumulty breaks it. Tumulty across the 40 to the 44. Brought down by Jason Skinner, but a first down run behind big left tackle Jerry Cutt. And Tumulty, who's been contained, gets away for a 15-yard gain.
Well, right now with 6 minutes left, and Central challenging right here. John Thorne has got a lump in his throat with Tim Lavery coming up under center.
Joe Bungie, always cool, always calm. Gerwig in motion on the outside, of course. Tumulty again tries to scoot it out, and this time doesn't get anywhere. Stefanis drags him down along with Devin Finn.
Again, Tumulty had a hole but was not able to get there. Good fill by the linebacker. Counter trap. Here comes the guard and tackle. Guard kicking out, tackle coming up, but you can see right here a great surge there. Drives him back. A play that started out like it was going to be a big play, resulted in a loss.
Aaron Stefanis, who had been switched off the defensive line to tight end, is now playing both ways, and he made that last tackle.
Tumulty's wide open.
And Lavery shoots it, and he's got his man. It is Jim Tumulty, and Tumulty gets right near the first down mark at the 46-yard line.
I think they're going to give it to him there.
From here, it looks like he has it, but
the coverage was blown a little bit here. Tumulty was in the slot, and there was nobody on him at all. They went man coverage. You saw the linebacker going with the tight end, but nobody took him. He was wide open, and of course, Lavery can deliver that ball so quickly. You can see him calling for the ball right now, and it gets there real quickly.
3 receivers right, 1 left, and the inside handoff, it goes to Corey Stevens, the fullback, and Stevens, dodging all sorts of black jerseys, gets 3 yards to the 41. There's Moyaki. And Moyaki, as we told you, is a senior. He's being recruited. He's a Mormon, and Brigham Young wants him. North Carolina State is looking at. Of course, a couple of schools might be concerned that he might take those couple of years off to go on the retreats, but he's still getting a lot of attention. As we told you, a good athlete, and has a great first serve. All right, here's Lavery now, 2nd and 8. Again, it's across the middle, and it's complete to the fullback. That's been a bread and butter play for them. First down.
They let the linebackers drop out. When Lavery goes back, the linebackers go back, and then they just bring the fullback underneath. Watch him. It's a circle route. You see 89 going out. You'll see 33 circling right underneath where he was. Dumps the ball right in the seam. Then both linebackers again squeeze back in, but they pick up a first down.
Stefanis and Sampson make the stop. 1st and 10 from the 33. Clock at 4:20. This is Tumulty, and Tumulty can't quite get the footing and goes down after a gain to the 32.
He looks like he's going to break one of those. He's about a step away, but he just seems to slip when they're running that counter trap. He's only a step away from breaking it. He, as I mentioned, he doesn't have great speed. His forte is cutting ability.
Shear to the right.
Fullback again
on the play action and making the play, taking the ball off his fingertips, off the turf with Stevens. Lost his footing, otherwise he had 10 more yards. This is not first down yet, but a fine play by Corey Stevens again. 2 fullbacks have done really well today.
They have, and the key has been Tumulty because they're running the counter trap, and the fullback goes backside when they run that, and after they see that several times, they come back with the pass. Now, he was wide open on that, and for the first time, Lavery just threw it short and low.
3rd and 8. 4 receivers out. Lavery shoots it across and completes it. Tumulty again to the 20.
Mike,
Johnson on the coverage.
We could have another overtime one here. 3:37 on the clock, 22:15, and they're driving, and they've got all the tools. They don't need much time.
Converting a big 3rd and 8 down to the 20-yard line.
They have 2 timeouts left. Nobody's on.
Shear comes right, Cade to the left. Sorry, Jack.
He's got single coverage over there.
Tumulty goes forward, and Tumulty, what an incredible play. He was stopped.
I think we're going to get a clip here.
He was stopped, got about 9 yards, but it's coming back. Do you see that play by Tumulty, though? He was stopped by 4 or 5 different linemen here. Watch Moyaki and Stefanis.
And he just cuts back, just quick feet right here, even with that brace on.
But it will be coming back. Larry Williams talking over there with Kevin Sampson, linebacker. Joe Bungie getting caught up on the information.
Joe Bungie, a defensive back at Southern Illinois University, and an outstanding defensive back, I might add. He was maybe 2 or 3 pounds lighter when he played defensive back at SIU, but he was quite a physical player down there.
Holding by the offensive team. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
The ball comes back again. This is from the spot of the foul. It comes back 6 yards. 1st and 16 from the 26. Lavery again being chased. And gets away. Unbelievable. O'Brill had him 10 yards back up the field, but he still managed to get back near the line of scrimmage before Kevin Beck brought him down. But Dan O'Brill had him back across the 35-yard line. Watch
Just a great athlete here. You can see he's pinned in. There's no way. He should be sacked right here. He should be sacked right there.
And Beard.
And he just scrambles out of there and gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, even managed to pick up. No, he lost a yard. So it's 2nd and 17. There's Tim Lavery, sometimes Player of the Year, a prize for any school that will be able to land him. Right now, he's got other thoughts on his mind. Running left, throwing left into the end zone. Tumulty just had it batted away at the last second by Beck and Johnson.
Gives you an idea how accurate Lavery throws on the run. Corner rolled up, and you can see Lavery here at the bottom right corner of your screen, or Tumulty rather, trying to get in the corner.
Look at Beck.
Beck does a great job right there, batting that ball down. Kevin Beck, number 23, a 5'10", 157-pound senior.
Well, they're obviously in 4-down situation here. It is 3rd and 17, the 11th play of the drive. There's your clock. Trailing by 7. Tim Lavery brings him up. Single back. 4 receivers.
He's wide open.
All wide open is Grotbeck. Todd Grotbeck. What a call.
When you least suspect, they stretched out the secondary, had 2 receivers on one side, split a flanker on the other. The tight end was left alone. The safety rolled over a little bit. He went right down the seam, and the key to it is Lavery looks away. Notice how he looks away to look that safety away, comes right back down the center, right in the seam to the tight end. Todd Grotbeck, 6'4", 195-pound junior, big game tonight. He's had a couple of key first down catches on some of those drives earlier in the 3rd quarter.
One of only 2 junior starters on the offense for Naperville Central. His 5th touchdown reception of the year. Now, look, will they go for the win?
They're going for the win.
They are going for the win.
2:13 on the clock.
They've got Hawkins in the backfield. And here's the pitch to Tumulty. Will they get it? And Tumulty throws it. What a play. Deflected. Schweikert made the play. Tom Schweikert saved the day, at least for the moment, for Wheaton Warrenville South. Tumulty on the throw. He had the man for a second, but Schweikert wasn't fooled and deflected it. Ended up with the football. So it is still a lead for the Tigers, 22-21.
You can see right here, it's a flip right here, and you can see he doesn't give it away too soon. There's great pressure there, delivers the ball. That's just a great defensive play right there. They'll be talking about this play for a long time. This is a gutsy call by Joe Bungie. He's come a long way to win the state championship, and he figures, I'm not going home. I'm not going to try and tie it. We're going for the win.
It was intended for Grolke. They have used this play on the goal line before. They used it against Downers Grove, I believe.
Yes.
They had Hawkins catch a touchdown pass. He was in the backfield as well. This is what is wonderful about this sport and about this competition. He went for the win. It took a great play to stop him, at least for the time being, and that's what happened. 11 plays, 71 yards, 412 on the drive, and it is not over yet.
Somebody's down in the field there, injured, I think. Mike.
Looks like a Wheaton Warrenville South. Oh, and I believe, yeah, it's Jason Skinner, the cornerback. Jason Skinner is down. He's up, which is good news. Joe Bungie.
Tell you, I give Joe a lot of credit. That's a gutsy call.
I love that call. Win or lose, it's a fabulous call.
Right now, he's
unless
dejected.
You lose.
It's a good shot at John Urban right there, defensive secondary coach. But that's high school football right there. Joe Bungie takes it to the #1 team in the state championship game.
All right.
And he goes for it.
All right. The onside kick obviously set up here. Mark Pollock will do the honors. Hand's team is in, and Stetler is right there. And Stetler makes the big play, the play that wasn't made last night in the 3A game by DuQuoin that cost them the state championship.
Well, you practice these all the time. There's a dejected Joe Bungie. But I'll tell you what, Joe, if you get this on a VCR, I give you a lot of credit. That was a great call. Took a lot of guts. He had a great season right here. And this is an outstanding play here under a lot of pressure to make that recovery.
Stetler right at midfield. So now with 2 minutes and counting, each team still with 2 timeouts. Here comes Finn back in, and there's a whistle because we're going to get a illegal procedure play here as the Wheaton Warrenville South Tigers were a man short. And that is not what John Thorne wants to happen. You want to keep that clock running, and now they get it stopped. John telling his people, don't worry, take it easy.
Milk that clock, run that clock. Naperville's got 2 timeouts. Wheaton Warrenville South has 2 timeouts. Minute and 55 on the clock. They're going to be ripping at the ball right now. Gang tackling.
Here's the official.
Guide the flag.
Okay. Okay, here it is. That's what the Red Hawks fans hope, and right now they are a couple of points short. The timeout situation, as we told you. Rilke, the quarterback. St. Myers split left, the two backs, Crosby and Workman. Clock is running, and they'll run it down. 13 seconds left, a minute 40 to go. So Brilka will just take his time. Now they run. And look at Crosby. Crosby's got a first down, and that is vital to Wheaton Warrenville.
As we mentioned, Crosby's a back of the future. Had a great playoff series. He's going to have an outstanding senior year.
The back of the future is having a fabulous present.
He certainly is. Kelly Crosby. He's a find. Wasn't on the starting in the backfield early in the season. Came off the JV team.
We told you Bill Gorlessett's the regular tailback, injured in the semifinal against York. Crosby had been playing already, but he stepped right in and filled the hole. Naperville Central's taken its time out. It has one more left.
That's even a greater impact on losing a starting running back for the state championship game that's gained nearly 700 yards and 11 touchdowns for you, and you lose him, and yet you're at the point where it looks like you're going to upset the #1 team.
Naperville Central 13-0, preseason #1, all season #1. A minute 29 they have to make it happen again.
And you can see it's quite obvious why they've been ranked #1 all year long. They have a great football team. Extremely well coached, great athletes. It's been a very exciting ball game here.
Well, they can stop the clock one more time. First down, it's Brilka, and Brilka with the misdirection. Look out! Tim Brilka knocked out of bounds inside the 10. That's some way to kill the clock.
It really is. And I don't want to be I told you so, but I told you in the beginning of the ball game that this kid was going to have a big impact on the outcome of the game, and he certainly has lived up to that. He's done all the things that John Thorne has asked of him. Here it's pick up yards, stay in bounds if you can. Get the big run. He's done it all tonight.
Brilka knocked him out of bounds, avoiding the touchdown, which is not important now. Naperville taking its last time out with a minute 21. So John Thorne is talking to his Tigers. They are up a point and looking at a state championship right in the face.
And people said he was a year away.
Well, let's take a look at the tournament so far, and what a tournament it's been. Carthage and Arcola, that's been our one blowout, with the Blue Boys 4 touchdowns by Kenton Patrick. Here's one of them, and a 45-13 romp over the Purple Riders in 1A. In 2A, well, it was the 2-point conversion that didn't get made. Meanwhile, Hampshire over Moweaqua, A&C 20-18. And the offensive pass interference to tie the game negated that. DeCoin and Spring Valley Hall. Well, Spring Valley scoring twice in the last minute and a half, and coming from behind to beat DeCoin 38-32. Second year in a row, DeCoin's finished second. Providence had to come from behind to win its second state championship. They won in 5A last year, 4A this year, 22-17 over Sacred Heart Griffin. 15 points in the last 3:35. And that's prologue. The 5A situation was incredible. Brian Schmitz with a field goal in the final seconds to win for Maine South over Mount Carmel. What a tournament this has been. And here we are. This tells you the story. 1s and 2s all over the place. 22-21, a minute 21 to go. Naperville Central cannot stop the clock. Wheaton Warrenville with the 1-point lead. Now just has to snap the ball 3 times. And they do.
Very dejected Naperville Central sideline over there as we look over at the visitor stands and the sideline, and there's a good shot of Joe Bungie. Well, great year, great career for Joe at Naperville Central, and they came in #1 and they played like it throughout the entire ball game.
And you second guess and you ask him if he had it to do over again.
Well, you know he'd tell you, you're darn right. He'd say absolutely, and I would agree with him 100%. It was a great call.
It made for a fabulous game. It made for a great sense of drama.
And that's why Joe is so successful there, is because he's an excellent coach. He makes the good calls when they're supposed to be made, and that was one of them.
John Thorne, ever cool and calm. We'll see how cool he is. We'll see how dry he is if the folks with the bucket are after him.
And they miss.
The photographer's got it though, and the clock ticks down on the season for 6A. John Thorne, his second state title, again winning in dramatic fashion, a 6A championship for Wheaton, Warrenville South. Over Naperville Central, 22-21, a game every bit as good as you'd want.
Well, we talked about that 5A being a great game, and could we possibly match it in this 6A? And I think we certainly did. And I say we, Naperville Central and Wheaton Warrenville South, two outstanding high school football programs.
Well, it didn't go down to the final seconds, but it certainly went into the final minutes. And an incredible call, a controversial call, but no question the right call to go for 2 by Naperville Central to go for the lead. Excellent play by Wheaton Warrenville to knock it down, to knock the pass down in the end zone from Tumulty. Tom Schweikert, watch him. He'll be in the left part of your picture as Tumulty goes to throw.
You can see the pursuit comes up, and this play has worked before. And from a coaching standpoint, Mike, you can make a lot of great calls that don't always work. And I say to Joe, this was a great call, and it just didn't work.
Schweikert with the big left hand. There's Brad Grulke, some of the other very dejected Red Hawks, but hey, it wasn't from lack of ability or lack of trying. The underdogs have done it again. You gotta believe. They believe. And their dream came true. We'll be back. The victorious Tigers of Wheaton Warrenville South, the 6A champions by the slimmest of margins, 22-21. And there's the big prize. It doesn't get wet as it does in the swimming meet, but let me tell you, it is prize. It is venerated. It'll sit right next to the one from 1992 that graces the trophy case. And this was 1992 as Joliet Catholic tied this in overtime. And then you see Wheaton Warrenville coming back in double overtime. That's Bob Stone, the coach of Joliet Catholic. We're going back 3 years now. Kevin Fitro had just caught that pass for Joliet Catholic to tie. Here is John Thorne. Sudden death right here. On first down, they had just recovered a fumble. Phil Adler, the tailback right there, number 32, had just recovered the fumble. And here he breaks free into the end zone for a state championship, the first for Wheaton Warrenville after 2 previous second-place finishes. The place went nuts back then, and the place has gone nuts tonight. So this is number 2 for the Tigers. And what a victory.
Well, not too many people gave them much of a chance coming into this ball game, Mike. This is the tribute now up to
Ron Greco next to us. You're right, Jack. Not many people they had been beaten by Naperville Central. They were a good team, certainly not a great team. John Thorne said his team last year and certainly in '92 had more talent, certainly on offense. But he said these teams, these players work together. And they did that tonight. And Naperville Central, obviously a fine team, an excellent team, a more physically talented team. And they've got the second-place trophy.
Well, they gave it a great effort tonight. And I'm sure that, you know, they're a little dejected now, but by tomorrow, kids rebound very quickly, these teenagers. And they'll be just relishing all these memories they have of being down here.
As the presentations are made, we certainly want to thank our spotters today. Lyle Morrow from Wheaton Warrenville South. Jeff Nudera from Naperville Central. Of course, the administrations and the athletic departments, the football programs of both schools and all the schools here at the IHSA Football Championships. David Fry and the IHSA, Jim Flynn, Don Robinson and company. Boy, this has been fun. And they pay us for this, Jack.
I'll tell you what, and they have a great seat.
Not
like
much,
this.
I know. No, this has been absolutely wonderful. Dave Berkson, our statistician, who's done his usual monumental job, and our directors, Dave Turner, Bob Albrecht, Tim Sutton. And this is what high school sports is all about. The emotion, the thrill, the agony. All the cliches, though, are not cliches tonight. And now Wheaton Warrenville is forming a 31. We can get a shot. There they are on the victory stand, but they're forming a 31 in tribute to Ron Grego. And what a touching moment that is, because you couldn't choreograph something like this. There's Ron. There he is. Ron Grego making a miraculous comeback.
Right there.
Very, very sick boy, and now on the way to recovery, and he hopes a career as a student at Northwestern. I don't think he could be much happier.
Great gesture by Wheaton Warrenville South to remember great football player at Wheaton Warrenville South.
Over there is Jim Flynn from the IHSA. We certainly want to thank him and his staff. We want to thank our spotter par excellence, Mark Sikora. And there are the helmets. There's the presentation. There's the trophy.
Dr. Zeck from Downers Grove South High School, the principal.
There it is. It's up, and it's good. And we'll wrap things up in just a moment.
Hi, we've got victorious coach John Thornton from Wheaton Warrenville South. John, compare this to 1992. Does it feel better?
Well, they all feel great. Yeah, this one is really wonderful. I'd like to say hi to my mom, who's in the nursing home in Watsika, and tell the nurses to keep helping her like they're doing, and keep supporting our football team. Thanks a lot.
John, this is a huge upset. You've beaten Naperville. You almost beat them last time. What did you do differently this time in order to beat them?
Well, we tried to take care of the ball a lot better. We turned the ball over a few times, and we had real poor field position the first time we played them. And tonight we were able to run the ball a little bit better, and that makes a big difference.
Was it a mistake for Joe Bungie trying to go for the two-point conversion? Would you have done that?
Oh, no, that's never a mistake. He's giving his kids a chance to win the game in regulation and so forth. And they've got a great offense, and maybe he just didn't want to put the pressure on the defense in the overtime.
Well, there you go. Congratulations from John Thorne. Let's kick it back upstairs from Hancock Field.
All right, David Southwell, thank you. And again, congratulations to John. Here it is, the winning touchdown. And Wheaton Warrenville South, the Class 6A champion, as we conclude the weekend of high school football championships in the IHSA here on Sports Channel. Jack, it's been fun as always. Hope it's as good next year.
Well, Mike, I'll tell you what, you couldn't ask for a better weekend of high school football. We had great games, and I was just thrilled to be here with you again.
All right, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We hope you've enjoyed this. Once again, the final score, Wheaton Warrenville South 22, Naperville Central 21. They're the 6A champions in Wheaton Warrenville. For Jack McInerney, I'm Mike Lederman. So long for now.